Hello, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Creatives Podcast. I'm your co-host, Simone Campbell.
And I'm your co-host, Tevin Brown. I gotta be real with you viewers. Two of my favorite things in the world are obviously movies. Well, I guess three things, because fashion. And then the third thing is absolutely music, which is why I think our next guests are absolutely perfect to be on this show. We have the executive director of Albuquerque Film and Music Experience, as well as one of the board members who is an artist and filmmaker himself. We have Kira Sipler and Jonathan Nagel.
Hi, guys.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. This is a great
us.
opportunity.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of getting started, AFMX. This is genuinely the first time I've ever heard about this. So what is AFMX kind of all about?
Well, AFMX stands for Albuquerque Film and Music Experience, and it's brought to you by the AFME Foundation. And this is going to be our 13th year. And what we're about is bringing the synergy between film and music, education, collaboration, and how it all works together in this industry. So that's what we're about. Got to get it right.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. I went for the first time, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, awesome.
And I went for one of the days you were showing local music videos. And one of my favorite songs I found there, and the video I was so impressed with. So what is the process like for finding these artists?
Through Film Freeway. So we put out a call for entries for film, from documentaries, narratives, short films, student films, New Mexico films, documentaries, did I say documentaries? And so we go through Film Freeway and we have a screening process. We have a very talented group of screeners who range from filmmakers to cinephiles, from students to retired, people who just really love film and want to give back to the community. So that's how we get our films.
Sweet.
Yeah, we go through a really stringent process.
Oh yeah, and like all over the place too.
All over the place. I watch every single film.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, this feels like kind of, because that's so kind of encompassing and I really love that. Is it kind of like an all year thing or is there like specific moments or?
That's a good question. So our festival is the last weekend of September. And we do screenings, we do music performances. We're also going to be doing some music panels. So that means how to get into the business as a musician, how do you deal with the business of being a musician. This year we're going to expand a little bit more on songwriting and music scoring and how it relates to film. So, so between the film and the music and the center stage conversations, we're pretty busy during the 5-day festival.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah.
So we got ahead of ourselves. We got so excited.
That was too excited.
How did you get started? I remember we were talking a little bit before. You were like, I'm happy behind the camera. You know, you're happy being in front. So you guys make a great team. So how'd you find each other? How'd you get started?
Well, how do we find each other?
Yeah. Well, so the former one of the board members, Larry, who I know personally, called me up one day. He knew that I was moving back to New Mexico. I used to live in California for about 10 years. I grew up in Albuquerque, lived in Colorado for 10 years, then California. And I worked in video games, in high tech, and also in design. So I went to school out in Pasadena and graduated there. And then when I was moving back here in about around the pandemic is when Larry said, hey, so there's this festival I want to talk to you about, and you have a really good fit with your creativity and your business mind. Like, come and take a look at it. And that was about 3 years ago, and I fell in love with the festival. I thought it was a really great festival, and then they invited me to be a board member and help them with some of the strategic planning and what the board members do. So
all the official
He's
stuff.
invaluable. It's really funny because we have very similar backgrounds. Because actually, I met you at the festival.
Yeah.
Even before you were a board member. You remember we were sitting at the filmmakers brunch, and we met each other. I was like, God, this is a really cool guy. He knows so much. He was so inquisitive. And then when Larry said he's on the board, I'm like, yeah.
He said, bring it on.
Yeah, I mean, because it's all about the synergy of the ideas and what if and what if, and he has some really great ideas. I'm like, yes, let's do that. So
Finding somebody
Nice.
that you can yes and with is everything.
Yes, and
Yes.
Very
I
true.
like that.
Yeah.
I like
That's
that.
improv lingo for you viewers who may not know.
Yes, and.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I won't lie, my mother has taught me to be one of the best Facebook investigators on the planet. So I understand you studied digital media studies at University of...
Yeah, so I was so I went to undergrad at University of Denver. I studied digital media studies there, and then I worked in basically in high tech and video games for about 10 years. And then I was living in Orange County at the time. I was working for a really prestigious video game company that did games like God of War and stuff like that.
Nice.
And so from there, I went to school up in Pasadena at the Art Center College of Design and graduated there in 2018 in illustration and entertainment arts.
Nice. So with that huge background, which you said God of War, is that Santa Monica? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Not Sony Santa Monica, but it was a group that kind of spun off of Sony Santa Monica, and they lived
Okay.
down in Orange County. So it's basically it's kind of a cool story. Is like, I'll make it really concise, but basically, one of the co-founders for the company is Ready at Dawn. They were from Naughty Dog. They did Last of Us and all these like Jack and
Nice.
Daxter
Yep.
and stuff. And then two guys from Blizzard, who created World of Warcraft
Yeah.
and all these games, so like Diablo and all that. And they came together and they created this amazing studio. So
That's incredible. I won't lie, I'm a huge video game nerd, so everything in
I can
that
tell you're
not
so
only
excited.
made sense to me, but like got me so giddy. I'm sure my
Yeah.
fiance is like furious at home, like trying to focus on the show. But to round it out, because I'm good at my job, that sounds so incredible, and especially like with the high tech and everything. But I also feel like thinking back, like video games and all that stuff, that's kind of like a different area. So how do you feel like all of that stuff helps you with being a board member for AFMX?
Oh, great question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that really come into the fold with like film and visual effects and video games. I mean, everything is like all about narrative storytelling. I mean, things are moving in that direction so much. There's definitely, games that, are not narrative based, but I think that there is so much that goes into the technology. That's sort of like where I'm kind of looking at, where a lot of games and a lot of film like really like bring in all that. I mean, everything from like the cameras and the visual effects and all that, and then at the very heart of it is always the storytelling, the actors, the story itself, and I think that just the two industries really weave well together.
Nice.
That's why he is part of our poster contest. He really brings his background in design
Yeah.
and artistry. So we have a poster contest we've been doing. This is the third year.
Yeah.
And we're taking submissions right now. There's a grand prize of what, $1,000 for first place.
$1,000 for first place, 2 tickets to the festival. Second place is $500 and 2 tickets to the festival. Third place is $250 and 2 tickets to the festival.
Sweet.
Fantastic opportunity for any artists and designers
Yep.
worldwide.
Yep.
Take notes, guys.
Yeah. Just go to our website. All the details are there. There's still time to design.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's such a perfect segue, because part of what we're doing here is trying to create intersection between industries that can sometimes be so separate,
Right.
kind of create their own little worlds. And you guys are doing the exact same thing with the festival. What do you think the value of that is? What kind of atmosphere does it create?
So much.
Oh, yeah.
So much. I mean, it's like, I think that one of the things that just blows me away about it is like you get, just being in like networking events and talking with, it could be an actor, it could be a producer, it could be a musician. It could be like somebody who's scoring a film, and you're having a conversation. You're like, I'm making a film, and I need somebody to score my film. And then there's this like synergy that happens in these events, and it's like a perfect melting pot.
Yeah, we try to bring in industry leaders in different areas, and they network with us. So nothing's off bounds, right? So my phone keeps going off. So we have Christopher Lockhart, who's with WME. He comes in and helps us with our log lines and our pitch panel and our screenwriting. We have Ben Yenny, who is a distributor, who comes in and lends his time talking to filmmakers. And they're so giving of their time that networking with them is so easy. They really take the filmmakers and the attendees under their wing. And it's really great because usually after every festival, I get a letter saying, thank you for this connection. My story is actually going somewhere. Or I found the person for my next film.
Yeah, there's so many stories from different filmmakers who've just like a year or two later, they're just like, we met at your festival and now we just made this whole new film, or we made this like new connection and we're going to different places now, and that to me is exciting to hear.
Yeah,
yeah.
we've had someone came up to me and said that they've been working on a script and they were finally able to get it to the next level in Austin, because Austin Film Festival is really tough to get into. And she's just gradually getting up there, and it was all the practice with the pitch panel and the script contest with us that she was able to get to that part.
And like even like another example would be, I think with like, was it last year with Jules Bruff and her film getting, you know, she met Ben and there's a distribution, you know, that connection.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it started something.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's another one from this last year, but we can't talk about it just yet.
Yeah.
Hold
It's a
on.
secret. Getting ahead of ourselves.
No, deals are being made, and so we want to keep doing that, right? Because we have so many great content creators here in New Mexico. I mean, having grown up in New Mexico, it's all about helping each other here, right?
Yeah.
I never believed that I needed to go to LA to make films. You just make art where you are. That's me. That's how I do a lot of people need to go to different places, and more power to them, but I'm here, so.
This is home.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I love kind of listening to like how strong of like a community it really feels like you guys have built, and kind of like all the different things. Like you mentioned, it was a poster contest and you have like a lot of these different things. So you have kind of like on your website like a lot of different kind of contests and stuff that people can find.
So we have the poster contest.
Yep.
We have the screenplay contest. So we just opened, this will be the second year. I'm also a screenwriter, so I kind of joke around that if I can't do it, everybody else has to. So, and so a screenplay contest, and there's two versions. There's one just for New Mexico content creators, and then there's the national, because a lot of people were like, well, we want to participate. So, so those are short plays. And then there's the pitch panel, which we've been doing for 3 years, and that's hugely popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you have your project and you pitch to a line of producers, and they give you feedback. And last year we had the winner walk away with a deal to develop her project.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just putting out your project, it's also what else can we do and connect you to the next person.
Also, to kind of speak to that too, just having been a participant in the pitch panel last year. So I mean, it's a vetting process too. I remember 3 years ago, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to try to submit one of my films and like try to get that, you know, into the pitch panel, and it didn't, you know, it didn't meet the criteria. So I kept working on it. Finally got it in last year, and it is it's a pretty like incredible moment and process, but it's also like nerve-wracking. I mean, it's everything.
For sure.
It's like going up there and like, you know, it's like all eyeballs, and then all of a sudden you're just like, you know, you're talking to everybody on the panel, the whole audience is watching. It's like, I mean, it's almost like Shark Tank in a way.
It's like, but it's so much fun because the judges have so much fun with each other. They really battle each other. You know, they're really honest with the feedback, but ultimately it's about supporting the writer. And just being honest with the feedback, because they really do want that person to succeed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then hopefully this year we'll do something with songwriting, because everything that we do with the film aspect, we want to do with the music aspect, right? So, music is not an afterthought. We really want the performers to come out and show us what they've got, and whatever else they need to further their career, right? So, we're always looking for ideas. We have some. We'll see if they come to fruition
Just a couple.
this year.
No. Wow. There's so much going on. There's so much energy and momentum. What is your favorite part about what you do and being able to exist in this world that you've created?
I don't know. All of it, really. So as a filmmaker, I work as an AD. It kind of gets into the logistics of things, which I really love. And then it gets into the performance, the producing aspect, so I like that. Getting in front of the camera, not so much, because it's really nerve-wracking. I'm a behind-the-scenes person. But it's really bringing together all these people who have such great ideas, and they have such enthusiasm, and they're invested in the community, right? They just want us to succeed. And so I think it's the collaboration. We're a volunteer-based organization.
Oh, wow.
So when you have volunteers lending their time, and they're having fun and they have great ideas, to me, that's it. We have a great staff, we have great volunteers. It's a lot of fun.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, so.
I would say just the community in large. Like, I think that it's an incredible opportunity to be a part of something bigger than oneself, and also just seeing how, when everybody gets together, just the brilliance that comes together, the conversations, both like during the event, late night at some of the networking events. I mean, it's just really, really wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty low key, but fun and energetic, and yeah, we have fun.
She's like, yeah, just sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Yes, a little bit. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of work.
Oh,
I mean,
of
as soon
course.
as we're done in September, we take maybe a week off, 2 weeks off, and then we start up again. Because one, we're so excited to get going with it, and two, it's an all year thing. So besides the festival during September, we're also doing other events throughout the year with networking, with we're still filling out our schedule, but we do plan to do more networking. We actually have one on March 20th that will have our networking fundraiser for the LA fires, as well as some raffles for us. So look at our website or sign up for our newsletter. So that'll be happening on March 20th.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the scene in Elf with Will Ferrell when, it's like after Christmas, he's like, it's time to start preparations for next Christmas. And everyone's like, yeah. It's the same thing because you love what you do.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're always working. Yeah, because you never know what's going to come through town.
It's true. And you love what you do.
Yes. I'm very lucky. Very lucky.
I love that. And I think one of the things that really kind of stuck with me that you said was music's not the afterthought. Like, it's Albuquerque Film and Music Festival. And so I guess not only because I think, especially with our show, we focus so much on film and fashion, music's kind of like a genre we haven't touched on a lot. For a lot of like those kind of up and coming young musicians in those varying ages, do you have any kind of good tips for, I guess, like what you guys personally look for, or like whatever your panels look for when it comes to submitting?
Oh, that's a really good question. Are you talking about music, submitting music, or just
submitting music?
Just be yourself. Just like, just show us what you got. We're looking at all different types of music. We're really trying to branch out a little bit more with that. We have a great music coordinator and an advisory board when it comes to curating our performances, and it's just going to get better. So, we're just looking at, I'm trying to keep things under wrap too.
Yeah, keep whatever you need.
But I think it's just good to just kind of say that again. It's like that, just encouraging musicians to really reach out and connect with us, because there's so much opportunity for both, in the festival, and then also just even, there's the networking. There's also like what last year when we did the licensing, conversations about a lot of, I think, artists and musicians. There's there's the creation, there's the fun, all that, but then there's also the business side, and saying like, what is it, educating oneself and gaining that knowledge so that they can grow and thrive in whatever industry they use their music or their art for.
Yep, absolutely. So like two of our advisory board members are Tracy Whitney and John O'Manson, and they're local artists. They've been here a while. They're great at what they do, but they're also very passionate about the music and the musicians and the business. And I don't know anything about that. So I can tell you more about the film, but that's why we always bring in people smarter than me when it comes to music and everything else, because it's really important. I mean, the city's done really great with bands of enchantment, good for them, but we can keep going, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so we have a lot of great music venues here. Let's just keep elevating it. Yeah.
And that's what you guys are doing. You're elevating. And I think it's the one word that keeps coming up or keeps getting alluded to is synergy. Finding people that you work with, that you can play off of, that, can continue to energize what you're doing.
But there's also another component to that, is that it's not separate from each other, right? In the sense that there's a musician in a band and then there's a filmmaker. There's a lot going on between them. It's just different forms of storytelling, right? So you have the musician that could become the scorer, but still do his side music or what have you. And for the filmmaker, it's how do I make this film sound better, or just tell the story without visuals, right? There's different types of storytelling that come together. And so it's just not just about the performance. It's about two sides of the brain coming together for one project. So, and a lot of times I've talked to some musicians that they don't know. Well, for example, we have one of our interns, Thomas, who has been with us for 4 years. He's a brilliant composer, but he knows that he needs to go to different areas and learn different things within music, within sound,
Right.
in order to keep going. And so I think a lot of people don't realize that their experience actually has a lateral movement across many boards. So we're just trying to
Collaborative.
encourage that.
Good. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. My goodness, you guys are just like such a wealth of knowledge, and I love it.
So
And you just
cool.
seem so fun-loving. Like I really enjoy having you guys on here.
We do have fun. We're really passionate about what we do.
Yeah,
You can
I
tell
guess-
it just radiates from you.
Yeah.
I guess one of the more stressful questions, only in you're obviously the executive director of AFMX.
That's what they say.
How do you balance kind of being the executive director and also like coming on and being in front of the camera sometimes when you don't want to? How do you
thank you.
balance it all?
Well, I quit my other 2 jobs, so I only have 1 job, so that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's 24/7.
Yeah.
But it's not any different than being a filmmaker or a writer.
For
like
sure.
you're always having ideas. 2:00 in the morning and writing things down. So it's just part of me. So, but I've been told I needed to rest. So I do have to create that balance,
Allegedly,
which is true because I'll burn myself out. But I just find that balance, and really the team helps me to delegate and actually brainstorming. Like Jonathan has these great ideas. I'm like, that's what I was thinking. So it's great to have a friend that can bounce ideas off with this
Agreed,
work,
yeah.
with this not. I'm not in it by myself.
Yeah.
So that's on that one. But yeah, but it is. It's surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you in different areas and being able to come together.
I think, yeah, I can't express it any more clearly.
Oh,
Yeah, it literally is like filmmaking, though. It really is. Like when you have that creative project, and you're like, how are we going to make this thing? And then it's like, all right,
We'll do
take action and just start that process
do
and
it.
just start doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
love this. Oh my gosh, Jonathan Curate, thank you so much
Oh, thank
for
you.
spending some time with us and teaching us a little bit more about your craft and being on camera.
thank you. I'm getting better at it.
Absolutely.
I guess before we go, like kind of for like one final time, is there any best way that people can kind of like look into AFMX and like get a lot of information and stuff?
Go into our website, afmxnm.com. You can sign up for a newsletter there. Look for us on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook and our YouTube page. We have a lot of great videos from past performances of our center stage conversations, so that gives you an idea of what we present. I know Carrie's like, just say this, say this. I think that's about it. Or marketing person. Well, I don't know if there's anything else. I think that's about it.
Yeah, they can just find it out on your website.
Yeah.
So they'll go from there.
Everything's there.
Cool.
Yep, everything about the contest, the festivals, how you can become a sponsor, how you can donate, for students and teachers. Did I tell you the students get in for free?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so we're really passionate about that.
That's so nice.
So anything about for students, they need to check out the website. So there's something for everybody. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in for another fantastic episode. Remember those on YouTube to like, comment, and subscribe. It does help us out quite a bit. Thank you so much too to our friends and family who have been such fantastic proponents of this and getting the word out and watching multiple times.
Thank you, Dad.
Absolutely. I know. Thank you, Dad. And thank you so much to our sponsors, Studio 519, for this incredible space that we're so grateful to be in. And for viewers like you for making it possible. Thank you to my fantastic co-host, to our producers, and to our guests.
Have a great night, guys.
Bye.